Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm Whelpcakes, and we're here live at Virginia International Raceway for the 2-hour series finale of the Sports Car Series. Track Limits Racing is closing out Season 2, and it has been a wonderful time, and we're glad that you all decided to be here to watch the finale with us. Looks like the boys are still putting in some practice. We did have some technical difficulties at server start, so free practice is going to run a little long. We've got about 16 minutes before it's going to move the session into qualifying. So we've got a little bit of time together to talk before we get into the qualifying session. We've got a big lobby for this race, and I'm really excited to see it. It looks like we might have 29 in this session, which might be one of our largest lobbies. It is our largest lobby for LMP3s. We have 15 LMP3s right now in session, which I think is our largest, and then a pretty sizable GT4 contingent as well. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's foggy right now in practice. I do have word from Jaden though that we shouldn't have fog for the subsequent sessions. So this might be something that's isolated purely to free practice. But there you have the temperature settings: 19 degrees ambient temperature with 100% humidity, clear skies, and a 6-kilometer wind. Virginia International Raceway, 18 turns. And I know by looking at that picture, it doesn't look like 18 turns. That's because in America, we like to A-B turns when you're dealing with chicanes. So a number of those chicanes are just counted as single turns for reasons I've never understood about how American racetracks number their corners. But 18 turns on offer here at a very complicated road course. Just pulling up some of the data about the track. 3.27 miles or 5.262 kilometers if you measure it in metrics. Yeah, it's a wild little track here. We're gonna take a quick peek at some of the times that we're seeing in free practice, and that's kind of shocking to see. We got Andrew Monroe out of nowhere with 4/10. The pick for winning a GT4 in this field. Well, we don't have Steven Wilson tonight. He's going to be out this week. So that is likely going to secure the championship, which I believe actually mathematically it was already on lock for Scott Fleming with 332 points. And Scott's already pretty quick around here. So I'm kind of interested to see how Scott does. Although for whatever reason he's not showing up on my timing data. Let me go see if I can figure out why that is. Apologies, folks. Not really sure why he's not showing up on the timing data. Let's see if we can figure out why. Technical difficulties as always. I'm not getting. Let's see if I can see him on the timing score. There he is. Cool. There he is. All right, cool. We got him set. There's Andrew Monroe at the top. 140.065. Scott Fleming's got that 52.857 apex. So, yeah. Scott's kind of a shoe-in right now because Ryan Buchanan has got, a half second he's going to have to find. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, of course he did. But, we're going to... We're going to figure out how that works. I also don't understand why his time is an 11:11 relative to the LMP3s, but, this is going to be a weird one, apparently. I guess we're just going to have really weird gremlins in the iRacing stuff because our actual server had technical difficulties launching, so we needed to get a server set up in the hosted lobbies for the guys. So we might get some weirdness relative to that because his last lap was an 11:11. I get it. Probably because he towed. But anyway, let's talk about the championship, right? We still got a little bit of time. We got 11 minutes. Let's actually get you guys some TV time with some of these fast boys out here. Just looking right now at the timing, the points data going into the series finale. The big two things we need to talk about really reside in the GT4 category. Ryan Buchanan and Tommy Kogan are going into this race with tied points if you consider their worst drop rounds before this race. So the big stakes for third step of the podium, GT4 Pro. Not sure they can make it and catch Stephen Wallace. He's got 295 on their 257 respectively. But Ryan Buchanan and Tommy Kogan is definitely going to be something we're going to have to watch out for. Tanner Schiffner not out of it either, in fifth with 248. So something goes wrong with the Ryan Buchanan-Kogan pairing. Schiffner might be able to sneak his way up one or two places in the standings. Also, Jared Jones, Matt Pyle, currently 7th, 8th in 6th and 7th, excuse me. Jared Jones, Matt Pyle, 6th and 7th, GT4 Pro, 224 to 218. So close stakes there for those boys as well. Sounds great, Apex. Yeah, you'll be with us next season. You'll be with us next season. Get you sorted. Taking a look at the GT4 AM category. This is another one that is going to be something to watch. Mathematically, Anthony Newman, Christopher Blue, only separated by 17 points. Who knows? Who knows? But the closest fight in GT4 AM that we really need to highlight, Mr. Corey Lobner and Sean Sullivan. 184 to 183 for the third step of the podium in GT4 AM. So very close stakes. Logan Branson not out of it with 170, sitting in fifth. Yeah, and then Dave Chimilio and Cody Gillespie in 8th and 9th in GT4 AM with 105 and 101, respectively. Man, look at that cloud cover, or excuse me, that fog right now, getting that air shot of the raceway. Mathematically, Ethan Hamlet has LMP3 Pro locked. Don't know if anyone's shocked about that, with a perfect record, 360 points, the maximum in 7 rounds that can be applied, and sitting on top with yeah, I mean, it's 57 points above Jaden in second. So Ethan had another home run season. But it looks like for this race, he's going to have his hands full with Andrew Monroe. We'll see. Taking a look at more of the LMP3 Pro data. Really, the nearest fight is going to be Dylan Sauer, Vincent LaRoe, 154 to 145. I think it's kind of on Vincent to really nail a better race than Dylan to jump into 6th. In GT4 AM, Gian Cardoso looks like he's a lock for the AM title. But Zach Fisher and Mark Robeson, those two are only 6 points apart. So Mark Robeson could maybe see if he could sneak up into that third spot. New World is rating us with a party of 5. They are doing the Jingle Jam, and that is going to be for the Trevor Project. They are doing, I was told to say I love you. Well, Bullet, I love you too. Thank you. So yeah, the Jingle Jam is going on this month. Be sure and follow New World Sim Racing. Be a part of the show when they are streaming. They're doing a variety of different things for the Jingle Jam. Yes, give them your money. Give them your money in the form of charity to Tiltify for the Trevor Project. It's a very good cause. They also have some game bundles for Jingle Jam and some really good stuff. Some good games in there for $35. You get a whole host of keys. Frostpunk's in there. I'm trying to think of what else. I was interested in fighting in tight spaces. So I like those kinds of games. So. Oh yeah. If we hit the next goal, so Chris has already dyed his beard pink for $1,100. If they hit the $1,500 mark, Tiago is going to bleach his hair. So if you want to be a part of that magic moment, again, New World Sim Racing, the Jingle Jam, go show them some support. Back to the racing stuff. I think that's it for the big coverage. Oh yeah, he's gonna take a picture while flexing. Yeah, I forgot about that bit. It's gonna be good stuff. The camera really loves really loves Anthony Newman right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit that exciting button. I guess he is the most exciting. Although actually we're seeing Sam Wilson carving through some GT4 traffic. Looks like he's early on in Sector 1. Let me pull up that track map so that we can follow along. 4 minutes left in free practice before we go into the qualifying session here for the 2-hour series finale at Virginia International Raceway. We have got a stacked lobby with us. 29 people have. Who's my money on today? I mean, Scott Fleming right now has a half second on Ryan Buchanan. So Scott Fleming, I think, is a safe bet from the bookies' perspective. Scott has had some moments on track, but if he's got some pace in hand, maybe that extra layer of security will, help him achieve some consistency. But it is going to be tough dealing with the LMP3s as they're moving through backmarker traffic. So who knows? In LMP3s, though, Andrew Monroe's got 4/10 on Ethan Hamlet right now. And that seems like a sizable gap for Ethan to deal with. But we've seen Ethan in situations where he's been on the ropes. So I'm very interested to see how the traffic management works out and seeing how this race unfolds for Andrew and Ethan. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one. I do like a. Heyo. Anyway, let's move back over to some of the camera footy. We got Mark Hansen, currently in third LMP3, currently 2/10 back from Ethan Hamlet, and has a 3/10 advantage on Gabe Chavez. Jaden Ledbetter currently sitting in 10th behind Giancarlo, so Jaden's going to have to pick up the pace if he's going to try and continue to punch some really good point totals in to finish out his season. I think he's pretty much a lock for second, but you never know. Let's go check the series information real quick because we got some stuff to talk about with this being the 2-hour series finale. Again, as you all know, modified Pro and AM championship format. We do have Pro and AM categories in both LMP3 and GT4 racing on the track at the same time. We will have a single competition yellow flag this time at the 45-minute mark because we're doing a 2-hour race today. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the pit stops work out with that because that 45-minute yellow. Oh, yeah, Thomas Castellini. I said that wrong. Is it Thomas Castellani? Maybe I did it better the second time. Sorry about that, Thomas. Anyway, yeah, it is close for third. So with that 45-minute mark, competition yellow, it's going to set up the pit stop sequence. There's an R in there? My reading prescription has been updated. I didn't see an R in the last name. That's my bad. Castellani. Anyway, Anyway, so with the competition yellow at the 45-minute mark, sets up the pit stop sequences. Why are the pit stops going to be significantly different in this 2-hour format? Because we have fuel limitations in both classes. Got to make the hand. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have my webcam turned on, and you guys wouldn't want to see me anyway. But, yeah, so with the 60% fuel adjustment for LMP3 and the 50% for GT4, that is going to be what's going to throw kind of a wrench into the stint work here. Looks like we're getting loaded into lone qualifying. So what we're going to do for this one, because this is tough, VIR is a bit of a long lap. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave the camera on Ethan, let him get established, get his outlap going. Well, actually, the camera's going to move around. We're going to let him do it. What we want to do is when we get the first flyer set up, we're going to pick somebody. We're going to do a trip around VIR, and then as we start getting towards the end of the first flyers, I'm just going to be rotating between people who are ending their flyers. So you're not going to see people really doing a whole lap around VIR, but we'll at least get to see the action as they come across the line, update the leaderboard. So let's go ahead and let the camera do its thing. I'm going to get this information out the way. The numbers are so weird, aren't they? They broke the last time that we did an update, and I just can't seem to get the number to not look dumb. What does that do? Anything? No? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. I might do some more. Oh, there it is. There it is. Transparent. Does that do something now? No? Okay. Well, we try. Apologies for that, folks. Anyway, so while we're looking at the track map, we're going to pull up that, so we'll get to see a little bit about where the number 2 car is right now on track, and that is going to be, well, now we are switched over to, who's the current driver even? All right, we got Vincent going into the horseshoe right now, so we're going to ride on board with Vincent as he's driving around. So now approaching the turn 2, turn 3 complex at NASCAR Bend, and then he's going to hit the left hook before hitting turns 4, 5, and 6 along the Snake complex. This right here, throttle management is going to be very important for the LMP3s around here. It is very easy to loop the car on the exit of left hook, and the bumps on this track are real. So as he cuts through the Snake complex, setting up for 7, 8, 9 before he hits South Bend here in a minute. There he is, using all the track as best he can. Into turn 11 and 12 at the Oak Tree, and now the long blast down the back straight towards turn 13. Up through the gears he goes. Traffic management along the back straight is probably going to be the best opportunity for LMP3s to clear these GT4s before they get to turns 13 and 14 and the roller coaster section. 13, 14, 15 gets set up with a very short straight before he hits the hog pin at turn 16. And then the right-hander out of turn 17 towards the front straight. A little bitty kink. They count it as turn 18. I don't believe them. Ethan Hamlin's going to go to the top with a 140.72, and Mark Hansen's going to punch in with a 42.421. Vincent LaRoe with a 41.794. So the times are coming in now. Let's go take a peek at the GT4s. The GT4s are getting set up right now. Logan Branson has already done 2 laps, but if we take a look, I believe we have Sean Sullivan Down the straightaway, where's Sean Sullivan going to post up in the GT4 category? With a 157.587 to set up the GT4 runners. Anthony Newman goes higher with a 55.173. And then we've got Jason Odson in the LMP3s coming across the line. He's going to register in 7th with a 143.309. Let's take a look at the front of the field now. We've got Andrew Monroe, but Ethan Hamlin's about to finish a lap out, currently sitting on provisional pole with a 40.722. I'm taking a look at those GT4 times. Christopher Blue's about to post. So down the straightaway, Ethan goes. Is he going to be able to extend? We're immediately going to switch gears over to Andrew Monroe, see how the fight at the front of the LMP3 category goes. And a 140.56 is going to be what Ethan's going to have to settle for. Here goes. Man, that was a loose exit there for Andrew Monroe. Ethan Hamlet, 40.56. What can Andrew Monroe do? Looks like he's going to have to settle for a 40.94. In the meantime, over in GT4, we do have John Newman about to finish his lap out. Looking at some more of the LMP3 times, Jaden Ledbetter's about to post. He's sitting on a 142.43. So Mark Hansen is in and done. John Newman comes across the line. 7th fastest. Scott Fleming getting ready to finish his lap out. Where's Scott going to post up? Currently sitting on a 53.63. That looks like that's going to be a little bit of an improvement. No. Misses out just a little bit. With a 53.760. Here's Ryan Buchanan. He is locked in a battle in GT4. And he's going to post up a 53.96. Tanner Schiffner sneaking into 2nd place there with a 53.64 to round out the GT4 runners. And, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff so far. Just taking a peek, Andrew Monroe is going to post up a 3rd lap here in a moment. Currently, Vincent LaRue's doing lots of green sectors, but Andrew Monroe's got 2 purples. But it looks like he's going to have to settle for that 40.944. So did not manage to sneak pole out. Did not manage to do it. Ethan Hamlet still running that pole position time. Not sure why the camera is doing something weird. Just give me the shot of Jaden Ledbetter as he's coming across the line. Thank you. Comes across the line. Improves his time and position. 41.84 to go 6th fastest behind Michael Lively, a newcomer. Glad to see Michael here with us. Got some newcomers in here. I'm really stoked to see them. Let's find one of those newcomers. Do we got any newcomers in GT4 I can go look at? I think all of our newcomers actually are on LMP3. Anthony Newman exiting the final corner down the straightaway. Comes across the line. Is he going to pip Tommy Cogan or not? I don't think he's got it. Yeah, 54.434 doesn't improve. Taking a peek, Ryan Buchanan is about to come across the line. Is he got enough in it to maybe leapfrog Jared Jones? He had green sector 1, sector 2 times. But I think, oh, he does. 53.746 to pip Jared Jones and get into 3rd. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Matt Pyle. Matt Pyle's in a bit of a battle as well. He's getting ready to finish his lap out. Logan Branson looks like he's going to finish his lap out. Currently only green in sector 3. Christopher Blue's got some green sectors. Cheering on Monroe. Monroe's he's going to have to get on the stick. Sitting P2, but on the front row alongside Ethan Hamlet's going to be a spicy turn 1, I think, into the horseshoe. So Matt Pyle with a 55.16. That's not enough to do it. Jared Jones manages to leapfrog Ryan Buchanan with a 53.68 to end up P3 in GT4. We've only got a few more runners out on track. Alexander Brown getting a spin out of the left hook. That's what we were talking about before. It's going to be the tricky part. But Matt Pyle is going to be, I believe, our last person to finish a lap out. So we're going to stay with him. Oh, nope. The session's going to roll over after 10 minutes, and that is qualifying done and dusted for the 2-hour. Session has rolled over. We're in the warm-up section. Drivers are going to be going through their briefing right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to hop on over to those quali results for LMP3, and we're going to take a little peek at the tail of the tape. So, yeah, Ethan Hamlet. The free practice times are not necessarily indicative of anything here, folks. Ethan Hamlet, 0.381 ahead of Andrew Monroe on the first row of the grid. Second row of the grid, we got Gabe Chavez and newcomer Michael Lively. Those two are separated by 1/1000th of a second. That's kind of cool. Vincent LaRue, he's lines up 5th alongside Mark Hansen. We've got Jaden Ledbetter and Samuel Wilson on the 4th row of the grid, followed by Alex Valesco and Andrew Brown. Well, I appreciate that, C. Shooty. This is SDK Gaming. This is the same stuff that's used for, like, I believe RaceSpot uses something similar. It's just the look and layout we went with was the one that is used for, like, the WEC esports stuff. So that's kind of where we got this from. Let's sneak on down the order here because we got a lot of LMP3s to talk about. Let's go past Alex. Okay, so 6th row of the grid, we got newcomer Mark Long and Jason Odson both lined up on row 6. Mark Westlake and John Barry, 13th and 14th. Gian Cardoso with no time in 15th. Gian's a lock for the AM title, but he's going to have to move up that order if he wants to, get some racing action for his series finale. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. Let's go. Let's switch over now to GT4. So those GT4 results: Scott Fleming 6/10 up on Tanner Schiffner. Tanner Schiffner jumping up into P2 ahead of Jared Jones. You'll love to see it. The last to last challenge. Gian, if there's anybody that can pull that off, you are the man for the job. I believe in you. Don't let anyone tell you different. So, yeah, Jared Jones, Ryan Buchanan, 3rd and 4th, 2nd row of the grid. Tommy Cogan, Corey Lobner in 5th and 6th. Anthony Newman and Matt Pyle on the 4th row of the grid, followed by Eduardo Zamora and Logan Branson. Eduardo, I think, is going to want to have a way better race than what he had in Sonoma. And I hope it works out for him. Fingers crossed. But let's take a look now. And then 11th and 12th, we got John Newman, Christopher Blue. Christopher Blue did not have the qualifying that he probably hoped for. Sean Sullivan and Brandon Potts round out the GT4 grid. And that is your starting order, ladies and gentlemen, for the series finale here. Series finale at Virginia International Raceway. Sports Car Series Season 2 is coming to a close. 8 rounds. It's been great. As you can see, the fog has lifted. 20 degrees ambient temperature with 92% humidity. Clear skies and a 9-kilometer-per-hour wind. Just a reminder, we are doing our modified Pro and AM categories for both LMP3 and GT4. So both classes, LMP3 and GT4, each have a Pro and AM category, and all 4 categories racing on track at the same time. This is a 2-hour race, 120 minutes. We will have a competition yellow at the 45-minute mark. It's going to give an opportunity for those that kind of got tangled in some nonsense at the start of the race. Opportunity for them to maybe unlap themselves, maybe stack up at the back of the pack, and then take another shot once we go green after the competition yellow. That said, with 2 hours, 120 minutes, that 45-minute competition yellow is going to throw the stints into kind of a weird state. And why is that? Fuel adjustments. We have a fuel limitation in LMP3 of 60% and 50% for GT4. So they're going to have to work some calculator math to try and figure out what their stint timings are going to be. And I'm kind of curious if anybody's going to try and pull a go long on the competition yellow. With the competition yellow being extended by 15 minutes, I don't think you can really go that much longer. But you never know. Somebody might risk it for the biscuit. Virginia International Raceway, 18 turns. We got 3.27 miles of road circuit here in Virginia. And it's a very complicated, twisty bit of pavement. But I think it's one that promotes really good racing. I love narrow road circuits, as anybody who watches the stream knows. So I'm kind of excited to see some multi-class action around here. Just want to give everybody a reminder, if you are interested at all in being part of the Sports Car Series, be sure and join us on Discord. I think that's probably your first stop. Get to know everybody in the community, ask questions. People also do Falcon series races as a group, and then I think also we've had a few people that have done some enduros together. So if you want to be a part of the folks that participate in Track Limits Racing, be sure and check out the Discord. There's going to be some announcements coming soon for what the first season of 2025 is going to hold. So if you want to be a part of the action, you want to figure out what's on the agenda for next year, just join us in the Discord. 6 minutes, 18 seconds of warm-up time has elapsed. Drivers are doing their briefing. Some people are turning some laps, but here in a minute, we're going to go to the grid and get the 2-hour series finale underway. If you have any questions at all, be sure and post them in chat. We got a long race. Buckle in. I hope you've got water. Be sure and stay hydrated. If you need a bathroom break, now's a good time. Yeah, here in a bit, we're going to go. We're going to go to the grid, and then we've got the series finale underway. I'm trying to stay hydrated myself. Talking for over 2 hours can get pretty draining, but I think I'm up to the task. Taking a peek at some of the stream data. It looks like we've got a good showing here. Oh, and I'm going to have sound on over here. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, 21 people tuned in to watch the series finale. Thank you all for being here. Just waiting for the session to roll over. Man, I'm looking in the Discord at the racing lobby and stuff like that for the briefing. That definitely warms my heart to see that many people. See that many people hanging around. Trying to think if there's really anything else to go over before we gear it up. Maybe give you guys a quick reminder about what sort of races we need to be paying attention to. Yeah, let's do that real quick. So if we talk real fast about the GT4 category, both Pro and AM, that's where the meat and potatoes of this race are going to be. Ryan Buchanan and Tommy Kogan being tied for third in GT4 Pro, kind of a big deal. And then we've got Jared Jones, Matt Pyle separated by 6 points in 6th and 7th. And Jared Jones actually had a really good qualifying, so I think Matt's got some work to do if he wants to take the fight to Jared and maybe leapfrog him and get into 6th. Corey Lobner and Sean Sullivan. Sean Sullivan did not have a very good qualifying, but they're separated by 1 point, and traffic management around here is going to be critical. So Corey, I think with a 1 point lead, still going to have to, stay frosty out there because third in GT4 AM is very much up for grabs. And Logan Branson's not out of it. So Corey Lobner and Sean Sullivan don't finish the race. They're not necessarily given to finish 3rd and 4th. And by the way, these points totals do consider the single drop round that we do have in effect for the season. Over in LMP3s, in the pro category, it's really the closest one I'm paying attention to, Dylan Sauer, Vincent LaRue. They're separated by 9 points. So it's very, very possible for Vincent to maybe leapfrog Dylan, but he's gonna have to produce the results. In GT4 AM, or excuse me, LMP3 AM, it's Zach Fisher and Mark Robeson separated by 6 points. That's going to be the biggie. And that is kind of where we're at with the season as things have wrapped up. 8 rounds. I can't believe we've made it 8 rounds this year. We've had some really good races. We've had some really spicy ones. Sonoma was particularly spicy pepper. Kind of hoping that... oh, are we getting ready to grid up? We are gridding, yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me get my stuff set up for that. Let's go to TV. No. TV1. Hello? TV1. There we go. Yeah. All right. Cars are gridding up, and we will be starting the race shortly. It does look like we might be... Are we starting from the pits? It looks like it. Do you grid from the pits and then start the race out on the field? This is weird. This is weird. I have not seen something like this before, so we're gonna see how this works out. Yeah, 29 people in this lobby. That's a lot. Ryan Buchanan, Tommy Kogan, currently sitting 4th and 5th in GT4 right now. And they're close. Jared Jones did have a really good qualifying, putting it 3rd in GT4, and Matt Pyle currently sitting in 8th, so Matt does have his work cut out for him. Over in the LMP3s, it does look like Vincent LaRue is not going to be racing against Dylan Sauer here. I do not see Dylan on the list, so Vincent finishing the race with a points haul that's higher than 6, and I think he's or a 9, and then I think he's got it. Taking a look at the AMs, I don't think the AMs are here to fight it out either. So even more of the LMP3 stuff kind of just being decided already. So this is kind of like a race, I think, for bragging rights more than anything else. Yep, here we go. Formation lap is underway. With the pole position of Ethan Hamlet. Good pole result for Ethan Hamlet to sneak it out in front of Andy Monroe. And, I mean, the margin was actually a really good conversion for him. It's over 3/10. So if he can pull that kind of like single lap pace out to an average, it might not be so easy for Andrew to try and upset the Sports Car Series LMP3 champ. We will be doing the full formation lap here at Virginia International Raceway. So we're going to hit all 5.22 kilometers of this higgledy-biggledy, as they might say it, on the other side of the pond. Very squiggly track in the Virginia Hills. LMP3's getting a lot of space from the GT4s behind, with Scott Fleming leading that contingent out on track on our formation lap. 23 people in chat here for the series finale. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm Whoopcakes, if you don't know who I am. I'm going to be your tour guide on this 2-hour excursion, multi-class racing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get some more data. What do we have over here to take a peek at? I was going to see if I could get the weather to load up while we're doing the formation lap. Yeah, let's take a peek real quick. There you go, 21 degrees ambient, 23 degrees on track with 83% humidity and 14-kilometer wind. Partly cloudy skies. It's the warmest it's been since free practice, so it's going to be interesting to see how the tires behave. It's going to be a little bit of a difference from what the drivers were experiencing during free practice, especially with the fog. So we'll have to see how they handle that. 15 LMP3 runners, and then we have 14 GT4s on offer for the series finale. Heading down into the roller coaster bit in the final sector of the track, and here in a moment, pace car's going to pull in, and these LMP3s are going to blast across the start-finish line, and we are going to have a race underway. 2 hours. Now, just a reminder for everybody, we do have that competition yellow that is going to fly at the 45-minute mark. Let's see how the drivers handle the opening lap, and here we go. Is Ethan going to get the good jump or not? It looks like he's holding the field. Just waiting for... Looks like the taps have opened up, and we have a green flag, and Ethan does get off to a heck of a start. Gabe Chavez and Michael Lively, like right there with Andrew Monroe as they get ready to go into the horseshoe. I believe that's Gabe Chavez on the inside, but Monroe's going to be set up for the inside line as he goes through the NASCAR bend. And they're now in single file order. Over on the GT4 side now, Scott Fleming now pulling up to the start-finish straightaway, and they are going green, and he gets a heck of a jump. Tanner Schiffner in the background. Looks like he might get gobbled up by Jared Jones on the first corner in Horseshoe Bend. Actually, Tommy Cogan gets a jump on Brian Duquesne. Oh, Jared Jones off in the horseshoe. Don't know if there was a touch or if there was a... looks like we do have some stuff happening here in the latter part of the lap for the LMP3s. We're going to go take a look at that here in a minute. But Tommy Cogan does get the jump on right. Oh, and it has a moment coming out of the left hook. This is what I was talking about. The structure of this track and the ride quality for these cars can really result in some rear lockage and some spins. Let's go take a peek. We do have the replay camera set up. Let's figure out what happened to Gabe Chavez. That is a front wing that launched into the air. Not sure what happened. Let's see if we can go back a little bit farther. No, we just can't. Like, we just got the result of kind of what happened here. Into the snake section. Oh, yeah, he just loses the back end. That's what I was talking about. And then the front right is busted. The bumper goes bouncing across the track, and Gabe Chavez is probably going to have to jump that car to the pits. Later on in the lap, we did have Michael Lively. Looks like he was trying to make a move on Vincent LaRue and then cuts through the grass as he's getting ready to go into Oak Tree, but manages to get the car back on track safely. Let's see if we can see what happened with Jared Jones. I'm curious what happened there. We see the event where he's coming back on track, and he does rejoin the GT4 field towards the back. That's going to give Matt Pyle an opportunity that he was really looking for. So unfortunate for Jared Jones, but again, competition yellow at 45 minutes, and with the stints needing to be kind of like, there's going to be some wiggle room there with the 50% fuel tank in the GT4s. It's not like Jared's out of it unless he's carrying some damage. Alex Velasco just overcooking it into the horseshoe, and he kind of drops to the back of the field as well. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of getting you up to speed on what happened in the first few laps. Tanner Schiffner still in second place, currently 1.8 seconds ahead of Tommy Kogan. Scott Fleming managing the gap, 1.4 between him and Tanner. Ryan Buchanan, Matt Pyle. Ryan Buchanan, Matt Pyle fighting pretty close in the battle for fourth. And actually, Tommy Kogan's really not that far ahead of Ryan. Let's actually jump on board from Matt's perspective and take a look at the action on track. Getting set up for the roller coaster section as they go in this downhill right-hander and then snake back to the left. Kind of nose to tail. You can see Tanner, Schiffner, and Scott Fleming ahead in the distance as they go through Hog Pen and then down the front straightaway. Ooh, getting a little bit of the grass. That's brave. That's brave. Showing them the nose before they go into the horseshoe. On the brakes. Matt Pyle just getting his foot into the power. Braking a little bit early for NASCAR Bend. Tommy Kogan, I don't know what it is. We're gonna go take a look at Tommy here in a minute, but the rear end of that Aston is rotating a lot, and I'm just kind of curious. That's going to require a lot of concentration to manage, especially as the tires start to wear. I wonder if Tommy's got maybe a setup issue with the car. Maybe he's got a quali set on it or whatever, but he's got full fuel in it. I don't know, but the rear end of that car just looks really, really excited. You can see him the back end, although actually he takes a later line into Oak Tree. He kind of takes the latest apex possible, kind of V's turn 12 before they hit the back straight. I said we were going to take a look at Tommy. Let's go to the roller coaster section as Tommy Kogan's going to get ready to hit one of the more technical bits of this track, in my opinion. I think the roller coaster section, it's very easy for you to get the brain fog, miss your braking marker, and with the downhill move towards turn 15, you can end up overcooking it and ending up completely off track. Now this actually looks really collected. And he's using all the track. That's exactly what you want to see. He's actually kind of gaining a little bit on Schiffner as well. It's down to 1.2 seconds. So that's the GT4 runners. Let's jump into the LMP3 runners right now, because Andrew Monroe is sitting about 0.6 back from Ethan Hamlin. And Ethan right now managing the pace right now. Best lap for him was a 41.39. Best lap from Monroe was a 41.27. But it does look like he is able to kind of like expand and contract that gap. Let's get the weather off of here and get that track map up so you guys can kind of see where the cars are at relative to one another. As you can see, this gaggle of cars, 29 cars for this, and it looks like a giant blob, and I love it. Okay. So Andrew losing some ground. Let's jump on over to newcomer Jason Odson in the 23. Currently sitting P9, trying to chase down John Barry. Another newcomer, man. I love these newcomers in the LMP3s. Just putting in work, putting on a show for everybody at home. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I love it. I wonder if he's going to make a move on him. Out of the snake section, up towards Oak Tree. Both of them taking the late line as well. Taking that late apex, and now down the back straightaway they go. Real quick though, we gotta go back to GT4 now, because Jared Jones trying to move through the field is in the rear view of John Newman. 8 minutes, 22 seconds have elapsed. We do have that competition yellow at the 45-minute mark. And Jared Jones is trying to make up as much ground as possible before that timer hits. This is some good stuff right now. Jones moving around Newman, and now Sean Sullivan in his sights. Sean Sullivan looking to get some points so that he can... Oh, Jared's off again, and this time he touches the nose. I don't think he hit hard enough. Oh, man, he's in the pits. I hope that's not a meatball. That's unfortunate for Jared Jones. That is not what you want to see in this race for Jared Jones. Back to Ryan's perspective. Very unfortunate. Eduardo Zamora in the M4. I think he's the only M4 runner, actually, if I remember correctly. Ethan Hamlet is here, and he is catching the back marker traffic, as is Andrew Monroe. They're trying to get set up for roller coaster. This is going to be interesting. This is what I was talking about. This is where traffic management between the LMP3s and GT4s is going to be critical, because roller coaster is very narrow. The braking zone for approach to turn 15 is downhill. It's very easy for you to be behind a car that is slower than you in their draft, get sucked in, and then you're in the back end of their car. So, and there's Vincent LaRoe moving around into third ahead of Mike Lively by the tune of 3.2. So yeah, we do have some close racing. Sam Wilson, Alexander Brown into Horseshoe. Actually, we got quite a bit here. We got Alexander Brown kind of getting stuck to the outside. Sean Sullivan on the inside as they go into NASCAR Bend. These guys are going to have to navigate the GT4s and not kill anyone. And they are making moves and getting spicy in the LMP3s. Yeah, more GT4 traffic through the snake section. They're going to have to navigate it. Everybody's got to share the road. And these guys are racing for something. So, you know, it's a big deal. Oh, man, so close. Look at that. The action is so intense in Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3. Now down to the short straightaway. We do have some cars off track. It does look like Sam Wilson might have got tagged. Let's see if we can go back and take a peek at that. And there's a bit of a bump on Logan Branson from Alexander Brown. Sam Wilson. Oh, man, there's a touch. Who was that? Couldn't tell who that was. Was that Barry or Hansen? No, I don't think it was Hansen. That was wild. Oh, it might have been Michael Lively. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Looks like we might have had another moment with Gabe. Oh, he touches a GT4 on the entry into Oak Tree. Does manage to hold his brakes. Tries to get the car turned around. Goes back off track. Not the worst rejoin in the world. definitely going to lose some spots, and he gets going back in the correct direction. VIR requires some traffic management and some massive concentration. Massive concentration. So it's through the field now. So GT4 is starting to space out a little bit right now. Most of the action that we're seeing right now, that's happening in the LMP3s. We actually just had a swap. Mark Long, Sam Wilson, and Jason Odson going at it. More GT4s. This is one of the M2s that got kind of stuck into somebody. I couldn't tell. I think it might have been Gabe. Through the snake section again. This is the part that's the roughest for traffic management. Very spicy stuff happening here. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to risk it, but at the same time too, you got to play it smart. You got to play it smart. On board with Sam Wilson, getting lined up on Jason Odson as we go into the roller coaster section. And he's riding those curves aggressively. That is bold. When you talk about bold, that's bold. LMP3 just loves to bounce. His favorite thing. Around, take a peek at some of the more exciting action on track. In terms of action, we're talking about Jaden Ledbetter carving his way through some GT4 traffic as he's trying to catch Gian Cardoso. Tommy Kogan in third, 5/10 back from Tanner Schiffner. Ryan Buchanan's only 6/10 back. Ryan Buchanan's right there. So the battle between Kogan and Buchanan still on. It is still on. Let's take a look from that gearbox. Really feels like there's nothing in it for these guys in terms of, and now we got Odson and Wilson showing up at roller coaster. Is Wilson going to hang it around the outside? Let's find out. Wilson in the grass just manages to save it. Staying with Odson. They're probably going to get clear of these GT4s before they get to the horseshoe. M2's breaking a little early. I think that was Schiffner playing it smart, managing the traffic. You lose a little bit of time to Kogan, no big deal, but if you end up getting sideswiped by an LMP3, that's bad. And there's your race leader, Scott Fleming, as Samuel Wilson sneaks around the inside of left hook. Matt Pyle is glued to the gearbox of Gabe Chavez, currently 3.9 back from Ryan Buchanan. He's going to try and catch back up. Matt Pyle is going to come out of this with some points relative to Jared Jones, so I think that might be a deciding factor for that battle in GT4 at least. LMP3s are starting to calm down. Now we're starting to see the GT4s start to heat back up. On board with Ryan Buchanan, more LMP3s. Oh man, Gabe was going to try and take the wide line, but Ryan took it down the back straightaway now. This LMP3 traffic is doing wonders for Tommy Cogan's race right now. This is exactly what he wants, and this is exactly what Ryan Cogan wished would never happen. Tanner Schiffner dropping down the order. What happened here? What happened here? So Gabe Chavez gets around Tanner Schiffner, and then there's a flash from Tanner Schiffner. Is he gone? Did Schiffner get dropped? Oh my goodness. Tanner Schiffner gets dropped from, lost a connection. That is terrible. Terrible luck. Went from P2 to disconnected. So unfortunate, man. So unfortunate. What's up, Retro? How you doing, man? Sound coming across okay? Everything sound good, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Hope the mullet is lush. Hope it's flowing. I hope there's a strong breeze, kind of like a cross breeze, so that the hair can kind of like whip around in its elegance. Race is still going. Yep. Yep, we got, oh, yep, sorry, I'm on replay. But I can shift back, because we do have Ryan Buchanan. So Tommy Cogan, Ryan Buchanan move up to P2, P3 with the Tanner Schiffner disconnect. So that's kind of not surprising. I'm looking through the order. Matt Pyle gets a promotion from that as well. The rest of the field is pretty much where they are. I'm taking a look at the data right now, trying to find the next close race to take a look at. And I'm kind of hoping that Tanner can get reconnected, because that's unfortunate. That's just rotten luck, man. So Alexander Brown trying to stay out in front of Michael Lively, who is only 5/10 behind. Getting some aerial shots as they go into Oak Tree. You can see them taking that deep line before they hit the second right-hander and then down the back straightaway. Retro, what's your feelings on VIR as a track? Is it a hate to love it, love to hate it? Yeah, lovely. Lovely track, he says. Lovely track. Oh, man, Tanner. See him jump to the pits and then leaves the pit lane. Tanner, I'm so sorry. It's not been a good race for technical gremlins. We had the late start due to technical difficulties, and then Tanner getting disconnected. Just F's in chat for Tanner. He's doing a very good job. Snuck it into P2 with a monster quali. Yeah, I feel for him. This is the fight to watch right now. Tommy Cogan, Ryan Buchanan. They're trying to resolve P3 in GT4 Pro. Somebody who is pretty sneaky right now, and that is Christopher Blue, who is now up into P7 in GT4. And that's good for him, because he's probably going to extend on Corey Lobner, but not good for him in the fact that Anthony Newman is still 2 spots ahead in P5 right now, and keeping that championship going. Ethan is still dominant, 360 points on the season. Andrew Monroe actually had better pace relative to Ethan in free practice. Ethan did manage to scoop pole position to the tune of 3/10 on Monroe. And Monroe was hanging with him. I think the traffic management has kind of been the factor here. He's running 42s now. Ethan's running 41s. I wonder if his tires are just gone. Tommy Kogan now under some mega pressure from Ryan Buchanan. Also looks like Eduardo Zamora and Logan Branson might have a race on their hands here in a moment. Let's take a peek. Yeah, they're looking a little bit closer. And there's Ethan. I mean, are you shocked about Ethan still being dominant? I mean, the kid is just the total package. Like, consistent, fast, technical, nails his pit stops. Like, I can count the number of mistakes I've seen Ethan make on one hand, and I don't even need to use all the fingers to do it. Oh, looks like Gabe running into some more trouble. What happened here? Oh, NASCAR bend, and he's just looping the car. And it's weird. It's like, okay, so then he hits left hook, loops it again. I wonder if he's got some sort of damage. Something's got to be going on. Something has to be going on with Gabe right now. I think he gets it going again. I think he's fine. Let's see what happens when he hits this kink here. Does the car step out on him again? No, looks fine. Looks fine. Let's get back to the racing action. It does look like Christopher Blue finds his way around Logan Branson and Eduardo Zamora now in the background. We had a lot going on, and we're not that far into the race. It's a 2-hour race. We're not even 25 minutes in. What I suspect will happen is we'll have a little bit more racing action as we get to that 45-minute mark, and then we'll have our first round of pit stops, and then I suspect we will see. Oh, that Porsche's losing it, but Lively's going to give him all the space in the world as they head down the back straightaway now. Now, Lively's going to have to do some work to catch back up to Alexander Brown, but it's a long race. I think he can pull it off. Checking back in with Eduardo Zamora. Let's ride on board with him. Eduardo had a really good Sonoma until it wasn't good anymore, and I feel for him. He's putting on a really good performance at Sonoma. So to see him in P8 right now and running relatively clean, I'm happy to see it. He does have 10 off tracks, but this is a track that people don't race that often. So, oh, Alexander Brown in the pits early. Wonder if that was planned. Maybe a strategic early pit stop, and then he's going to space out that. He's going to space out that stint. Corey Lobner and Sean Sullivan are duking it out. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's another one of those fights we need to be paying attention to. And yeah, they're duking it out. They're duking it out. Lobner ends up behind Sullivan. Not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can take a peek. See what happened. So there's Lobner. Oh, he's the one that went deep at Oak Tree. He's the one that went deep at Oak Tree. He was catching up to Sullivan. It's weird, though. And then Sullivan goes off track. Where does Sullivan go off track at? So he's at Oak Tree. Oh, he just cooks it, like, deep as Sullivan's doing the same thing. You know, tires probably don't feel that great right now, if I'm honest. Back here in the battle for P2, Tommy Kogan keeping Scott Fleming in invisibility. I mean, he's not letting him go. He's not letting him go at all. Here goes an LMP3. There's a stopped LMP3 on track. What happened here? Or is that somebody pulling an early pit stop? I wonder if Velasco's pulling an early pit stop. We do have 3 LMP3s that have pulled the trigger already. Two, I would say, are legit. Alexander Brown and Alex Velasco both pulling the early pit stop at lap 15. Taking the undercut before competition yellow. We still got a little bit of time. We still got, what is that, 17 minutes before... Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by, Retro. Take it easy, man. Good luck with your race. Three people in chat still with us. Thank you all so much for being here. It means a lot. If you have any questions at all, feel free to post them in chat. Let's see what happened here with Samuel Wilson. Samuel Wilson getting tangled. Sean Sullivan sandwiched between 2 LMP3s, and Wilson just cuts the exit of left hook. Comes back out on track into the snake section. Yeah, I was just checking because I wanted to see why Odson leapfrogged Wilson. So Odson keeping it on the black stuff, and he's going to find himself ahead of Sam Wilson. Although very, very bold entry into that snake section there, and he almost did that GT4 just get sent? What happened here? Oh, no, he just went off on his own. Went off on his own. Ooh, Matt Pyle going into the pits. Logan Branson in the pits. I love this. I love this. People mathing. People making sure that math be mathing and trying to get maybe see if they could sneak a cheeky undercut. I love it. I love it, man. This is great stuff. So Odson, Sam Wilson has already caught back up to Jason Odson. Wow. Okay. Okay. This is spicy. This is some spicy stuff. Oh, that's a cut. Maybe a slowdown. Yeah, I think the track cuts are going to be a big deal. I bet we're going to have some drive-throughs. I'm just going to call it now. I think we're going to have a drive-through or two. Oh, man, they're so close. Oh, man. Newman almost finds the left rear of Sam Wilson. Almost. Thin margins. Very thin margins. Gian Cardoso's catching up. So's Mark Long. So Tommy Cogan, Ryan Buchanan, both in the pits. Wonder if Tommy's pulling the undercut and Ryan's just like, I don't care. I'm not letting you out of my sight. Sam Wilson has a heck of an exit out of the final corner and down the start-finish straightaway, and he is going to clear Jason Odson as they get to the horseshoe on lap 19. Very good stuff. Early pit stops for a good chunk of the field right now, and we are getting close. We are 14 minutes away from that for that only competition yellow. And yeah, let's see. So jumping out of the pits right now, looks like Ryan Buchanan has leapfrogged Tommy Cogan. Tommy Cogan's still on the jacks. What is going on, Tommy? What is going on, my man? Are you taking a full tank? Are you taking all 50%? He's got to be doing that. He's sitting still for a minute. This is a disaster. Unless he's got some sort of like big brain strat happening here, he's going to be in the pits for over 1:20. This is huge. He's going to come out in the midst of P7 to P9. That is huge. I think I understand what it is. It's actually not that big of a disaster. Let's back up. Let's back up. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna calm down. It's not that big a deal. I think what's happening is Tommy is taking his tire set on this one, gonna run long while the competition yellow is going, because he's gonna be able to save some of that tire life while under competition yellow. Meanwhile, Ryan Buchanan, Matt Pyle, both with sub 53-second pit stops because they did not take tires. So it's going to be very interesting to see what that car is like towards the end of that stint. But Ryan Buchanan up to P5, Matt Pyle up to P6 in GT4. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here with Jason Odson. On track, so he's behind Sam Wilson. He's slowing down. He's pulling off. Is he done? He's to the pits. What happened? What happened to Jason Odson? He's in the pits now. He's still in the car. That's interesting. Yeah, he's still in the car. I'm not sure what happened there. See, Shooty, I'm not sure what happened there, man. I don't know if Jason has a stream up or something. I'd be interested to know what happened. Looking through the data right now, Anthony Newman currently chasing Eduardo Zamora. GT4 traffic trying to move through. Looks like the number 8. Alex Velasco, who was one of the early stoppers for the LMP3s. We've still got less than 11 minutes, a little over 10 before we go to that first competition yellow. I keep saying first. It's the only one. Sorry about that, folks. See, these are the pit stop shenanigans I was talking about. With that 45-minute competition yellow and that 50% tank and 60% tank respectively between GT4 and LMP3, this is kind of what I was expecting to see. These are the kinds of shenanigans I thought we were going to see. So both Ethan Hamlet and Andrew Monroe have pulled the pit stops. Currently, Ethan Hamlet is 12.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Monroe. So Ethan Hamlet has checked out. They both pulled pit stops. They both were really competitive. 24.98 on the stands for Ethan Hamlet, and then 24.28 for Mr. Andrew Monroe. Corey Lobner, Logan Branson. So Corey's trying to pull as much time as he can between him and Sean Sullivan. Sean Sullivan only 1.6 seconds back. So keeping it close. And here's Ethan Hamlet moving through GT4 traffic right now as we get to the start-finish straightaway. Let's actually ride on board with you for a lap of Virginia International Raceway on the brakes early to give the GT4 plenty of space. Then he's going to take the inside line and immediately snakes through, gets around Logan Branson before the NASCAR bend. And then setting up for left hook, and now into the snake section. As you can see, Tommy Kogan right now, who is sitting 7 after taking fuel and tires on the stop before the competition yellow. Little lift of the throttle given I believe that's Tanner Schiffner or Christopher Blue. That's Christopher Blue, giving him a little bit of space on entry now into Oak Tree. Good exit, and now down the back straightaway he goes. Very good stuff. Very good stuff from Abraham. The Carolina native, 360 points on the season. He's got the LMP3 Pro category just locked, and he's trying to clean sweep the entire season. Into roller coaster. Turn 15. Smoothest steering in the business. Out of hog pin, down the start finish straightaway, and that's a lap of VIR. Currently, fastest lap was a 40.55 for Ethan Hamlin. He's going to come across the line. What's he going to set for the last lap? 42.59, dealing with some traffic issues. Andrew Monroe's last lap was a 40.65, but I believe it was invalid, so I think he might have had a track cut somewhere in there. In the background, Anthony Newman chasing down Eduardo Zamora. Newman right now, pretty much a lock for GT4 AM right now. If we finish in this order, it's locked up because Christopher Blue down in 6th. Closest person, Anthony Newman, seems to be having a phenomenal race right now, currently sitting in 5th in GT4 AM, ahead of a number of pro category runners, in fact. Let's take a look actually at Anthony's pit stop. I'm kind of curious. So Anthony Newman did not take, no, he did take tires. So Anthony Newman took tires. Might have taken a little less fuel because I'm looking at a minute 1. 36.58 on the jacks. He's flashing Eduardo Zamora. I don't know if he's just trying to get Eduardo to like let him go or whatever, but they're racing for position. They're absolutely racing for position. He's lining up on the outside as they get ready to go into roller coaster. Eduardo's going to back out. Thought better of it. And then Anthony Newman's going to take turn 15. LMP3s are coming through. I believe that is Gabe Chavez on the exit of roller coaster. Into hog pin. So Anthony Newman's going to move up into 4th. That move on Eduardo Zamora. So Corey Lobner did clear Logan Branson. Got some LMP3s snaking through. Lobner immediately moves over into the draft line. Logan Branson, Mr. Wookie OH. On Twitch, probably streaming right now if you want to go give him a follow. He's a good dude. Helped us get to affiliate. Did some iRacing streams to help us get to affiliate. Really, really awesome guy. So the clock's ticking down before we hit the competition yellow. We got 40 minutes and 50 seconds have elapsed. Less than 5 minutes before we hit that competition yellow marker. And then that safety car is going to pop out, and the field's going to have to go through some stabilization to get LMP3 and GT4 stacked up correctly. Ryan Buchanan currently sitting in P1 ahead of Scott Fleming. What happened to Scott? What happened to Scott? I mean, I see 6 seconds on the clock in the pits a lap later. Yeah, that's it. So Scott Fleming leaving the pits. And there goes Ryan Buchanan. 6 seconds on the jacks. And what are we looking at? Less than 5 seconds for the whole pit lane travel time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how pit stop timings can matter in a race. That is some wild stuff. Now, Scott Fleming right now lapping with 5/10 in the bag on Ryan Buchanan. So, I mean, is he going to stay? Is Fleming going to stay behind Duquesne for that long? Don't think so. Tommy Cogan's moving back through traffic. He's already caught up to Christopher Blue. I'm looking at the LMP3 times right now. The field is really stretched out for LMP3. Closest fight right now is between John Barry and I believe is that Mark Hansen. It's actually right on board with Tom in the AMR. Scott Fleming has cleared Matt Pyle. Where's... Oh, no. He was already ahead of it. It's Ryan Duquesne he's trying to catch right now. Still 4/10. Still a little over 4/10. LMP3 traffic. I think it's Michael Lively on the inside as he's heading down the back straightaway. Tommy's really going to want to get around Christopher Blue before that competition yellow hits. Track position is going to be a big deal for these guys that took early pit stops. So I suspect he's going to try his hardest to make sure he nails a good solid exit out of hog pen, stays in the draft. Although it does look like the M2 is pulling a little bit on the AMR corner exit. Speed is a little bit higher for the M2. He's in the draft. Shows him the nose. Like, okay, I'm lining up on the racing line. You know, let me go. And Christopher Blue's like, nada. Well, he has a bit of a scuffed mid-corner there at Horseshoe. Going into NASCAR Bend, there, nose to tail. Tommy losing ground. Doing some back end checks real quick before we hit that competition yellow mark. And yeah, we're in it. 45 minutes, 36 seconds. Field is going to start to stabilize. Let's scroll on up to Mr. Ethan Hamlet. Currently behind a GT4. We're waiting for that safety car to pop out. Let's see where the safety car picks up the field. Sure where the safety car is. That's one thing I really wish I could find is the button that will take you to the safety car. Actually, I wonder if I go to navigation. Okay, that's Monroe. Yeah. There's nobody. I was going to see if the safety car counted as being ahead of Ethan Hamlet, but no dice. So we're just going to need to probably go to the blimp cam and then see if we can see where the safety car is relative to the rest of the field. So we're in the competition yellow phase right now. 28 laps have been completed. It's going to be a little bit before the LMP runners can go into the pits. But 47 minutes, 11 seconds off the clock here for the 2 hours of Virginia International Raceway, the series finale for the sports car series. And there's the safety car. Ethan picks up the safety car. So we're in the middle of it. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. The lap vehicles are going to get a wave around to try and get the GT4 LMP3 field stacked back up. But 45-minute mark, competition yellow is underway. We have had some early pit stops pretty much throughout the entire field with the 60%, 50% split on fuel between LMP3 GT4. It looks like it was a necessary stop for everyone involved. Just taking a peek right now at the field. So Ethan Hamlet in the lead. Andrew Monroe is going to be able to catch back up, close that gap down a little bit before the race starts again. And then in GT4, Ryan Buchanan did manage to hang on to it. Scott Fleming in second after the pit stops. Long pit stop. Looks like it might have cost Scott Fleming a position, but he's got pace relative to Ryan Buchanan, so I don't know if he's going to be able to hang on to that for the rest of the race. We'll see. So with the competition yellow in effect, we're waiting for the LMP3s to get the clearance to go perform a pit stop if they so choose. And then the GT4s will be permitted to take a pit stop. And then I believe while that's going on, waiver rounds will need to be completed. And then we'll go green again. So that's where we're at. Might be a longer competition yellow phase with the 1 minute 40-ish for the LMP3s and the 153s for the GT4s. So we'll see. 21 degrees ambient temperature with 83% humidity, clear skies, 15-mile-an-hour winds, or 15-kilometer-per-hour winds. That's the conditions right here at the 5.22-kilometer Virginia International Raceway. We're doing the whole shebang, all the squiggly bits. Let's get the race information pulled back up. Checking in with Ryan Buchanan, who is behind Gabe Chavez in the conga line behind the safety car. Just waiting to see when we're going to see some pit stops trigger. Everybody's pitted early, so I suspect what we're going to see. So LMP3s are going into the pits. Interesting. So there goes Ethan into the pits. Got some LMP3s peeling off to their pit boxes. And Gabe gets the clearance to go around the safety car. So he's going to zip around and get to the tail end of this conga line. And I suspect GT4 traffic is going to get something kind of similar. We'll see. But Ethan Hamlet, Andrew Monroe in the pits, Michael Lively, the whole LMP3 gang, with the exception of Gian Cardoso, John Barry, Jason Odson, Gabe Chavez. And it does look like we do have some retirements. I'm looking right now. I think the only retirements we have for this race, Jared Jones. Yeah, Jared Jones looks like the only retirement. Tanner Schiffner is still in this race after getting disconnected from second. All I got to say is mad props to Tanner Schiffner for not alt F4ing after that happened, because that's got to be gut-wrenching to be in second, to have a phenomenal quali, sneak it into second place, leapfrogging Jared Jones to put it on P2, and then to have a disconnect and be 2 laps down. That sucks. So, again, mad respect for Tanner Schiffner, who did not punch out. What a lad. What else can you say about it? What a lad. Taking a look right now, it does look like Ethan Hamlet got out in front of Andrew Monroe with the pit stop cycle, but Andrew's now right on his gearbox. So fun times can be had by all on that race restart. Yeah. We're going to wait. The GT4 field, I think, is going to get a little bit more of a wave around, and then we're going to see Ethan kind of like bubble back up to the lead car behind the safety car. Can we talk about movers and shakers? Movers and shakers. Alexander Brown is up 7 spots in LMP3. He's up 7 spots. That's pretty big. Mark Westlake, newcomer, up 8 spots. So big result for him. GT4 Christopher Blue up 6 spots after starting P12, running P6 now behind Eduardo Zamora. Big gains for Christopher Blue. Christopher Blue's really trying to close that gap to Anthony Newman. Probably wouldn't mind if he could somehow wind up with, what is it? I think it's like 12 points that he needs to catch Anthony. It's going to be tough. It was already tough, but still. I'm sure he's hoping for it. So GT4s now taking their scheduled pit stops. And with that, I believe the LMP3 field is going to be restacked. I believe Gabe Chavez is getting another wave around. Looks like Jason Odson's still in this too. Jason Odson had that disconnect, or he didn't have a disconnect. He just jumped to the pits. I was kind of curious about what happened there. Just pulled off, went to the pits, back out on track, currently running P15 in LMP3s. Kind of curious if he's going to get the wave around or not, because Gabe Chavez got the wave around. Yeah, there he goes. So he's getting the wave around now. So with that, Ethan Hamlin's going to be glued behind the safety car. It looks like everybody else is stacked up now. Everybody's on lap 29, with the exception of Gabe Chavez and Jason Odson. John Barry taking a late pit stop in LMP3. Interesting. Maybe something happened. I don't know. Wait a minute, huh? No way. No way. Anthony Newman under the pace car. Loops it in the NASCAR bend. Gets it going straight again. I'm not trying to broadcast or curse you, Anthony, I swear. I'm not trying to do that at all. Keep it together, man. Keep it together. With that, though, Christopher Blue is ahead of him. I believe he's going to have to slow and let Anthony Newman back around. It's kind of crazy. So GT4s after the pit stop. Let's go live again. I think we're going to be close to going green here in a minute. But Scott Fleming, after that extra pit stop that everybody did, kind of probably to get on cycle ready for the end of the race. So we're going to have probably a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 2 minutes to the end. But Scott Fleming leapfrogs again and ends up in front. And now so see, here's the thing. This time, Brian Buchanan took the tires, and now I'm starting to question whether or not that was the call. But he is, and this is where we're going to let the infinite wisdom of these GT4 drivers show. He is 2 spots ahead of Tommy Kogan, who is behind Matt Pyle in P9 right now. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Indeed. So we're going to scroll back up now to Ethan Hamlet. Pace car is going to do another lap. I suspect we will probably go green after this one. If I had to guess, I think we're going green after this one. I do see some more LMP3s going in. I don't know what's going on. We got Velasco, we've got Mark Long, we've got Gian Cardoso. Are they pulling, we're going to do our pit stop late, and now we're going to be fuel fit for the rest of the race? I don't know. Pace car laps are taking about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, so we will probably be in the back half of this race when we go green. So that's going to be interesting. So we're going to have a full hour sprint to the end. Not sure with the 60% fuel capacity on the LMP3 and the 50% on the GT4 if we're going to be looking at a pit stop or not to the end. It's going to be interesting. Hope everybody's having a good series finale race. 8 rounds of the sports car series here with track limits. It has been an absolute blast to call the series. Finicini, I cannot believe I'm remembering this until now. Finicini could not be here. Had a work thing. Mr. Finicini has been my co-cast for a majority of the season and has done a bang-up job. Absolute legend in the box. And sad he couldn't be here, but at the same time, too, I've been very fortunate to have him in the box through the majority of this season, and looking forward to calling some races with him in 2025. So stay tuned on it. You want more Finicini? Tune in next year. And speaking of next year, if you're interested at all in being a part of the Track Limits family, racing alongside these group of cool cats, be sure and join the Discord. The Discord is the place to be for that. I think I actually have a Trackman set up. Let's make sure. Yeah, join the Discord. Be a part of the action. There'll be announcements for the season for 2025. Check it out. Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. So you should definitely join the Discord if you want to be a part of the action. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We are starting to stack back up. I believe this means the pace car is going to be coming in. And just real quick, how far back are the GT4 runners? Yeah, they're pretty far back. Anthony Newman looking racy. Scott Fleming, Anthony Newman on the front row of the GT4 field as they're getting ready to go green again. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good set up for a very phenomenal finale. Roller coaster now, and on the exit of Hog Pen, and now safety car is in. Ethan's going to hold the field. Andrew Monroe gets another bite at the apple on this race start. And it looks like we're going foot to the floor, and Ethan gets the jump. It also looks like Jaden Ledbetter setting up on the outside of Alexander Brown as they get ready to go into the horseshoe, although Michael Lively sneaking up the inside, and Sam Wilson's right there too. Sam Wilson's chomping at the bit to get involved here. And that right there is some wild stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Fleming and the gang in GT4, looks like Brian Buchanan's trying to jostle about, get a line on the inside, and Scott Fleming gets a heck of a jump as well. John Newman in the mix here in P4. John Newman having a heck of a race. Heck of a race. And there's Anthony Newman, and it looks like Christopher Blue in third. Christopher Blue right there racing against his competitor Anthony Newman at the front of this. Real exciting stuff. Let's go over to the LMP3s now. Jason Odson currently in front of Alex Velasco. Really good stuff going on. Sam Wilson, Michael Lively, these two have been real racy pretty much the whole first hour of this race. Does look like John Newman has crashed and Matt Piles off track. Eduardo Zamora, John Newman to the pits. Unfortunate for John Newman. John Newman was having a heck of a start to his second half of the race, as does Eduardo Zamora. Again, Eduardo Zamora getting hit with some pretty rotten luck. We're going to go take a look at all that stuff here in a minute. Just wanted to see how this action winds up with Michael Lively, who is very lively in finding his way around Alexander Brown. So with that pun out of the way, let's go take a look and see what happened. We did have Andrew Monroe going off track on the setup into, just gets into the grass. He did that at the start of the race, too. Into Oak Tree. Interesting. Ryan Buchanan. Oh, car into the wall. That was Newman. And people taking evasive action. Eduardo Zamora, that right there was just unfortunate. He just shot back onto the track. Let's see that again. Let's see that again from Newman's perspective. So catches the curb. No, the back end slide. So he hits the wall and just scoots out. And there's just nothing I don't think anybody can do. There's nothing I think anybody can do about that. Nothing. That is so bad, man. That is so bad. Let's look at that from Zamora's perspective. On board. So Newman in the wall. You can't even see it yet, and there's a car. Like, just not much you can do about that. That is so unfortunate, man. So unfortunate. Both those guys back to the pits. Looking right now. Looks like the field is now stabilized a little bit. Anthony Newman in second is on the bumper of Scott Fleming. Anthony Newman is right. Anthony Newman, that the lead of GT4 AM is bullying Scott Fleming right now. Christopher Blue, he's right there. Corey Lobner, right there. This is hilarious. The GT4s are just really spicy this week. Really spicy. That is some good stuff. That is some good stuff. Somebody right here who's having a heck of a recovery after having a disastrous start is Mr. Gabe Chavez. Up to P6, chasing down Vincent LaRue. Down the back straightaway. Some really good stuff going on here. Good recovery right now for Gabe Chavez. Competition Yellow bringing him a new lease on life in this race. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Alex Velasco in it. So is Jason Otson. Jason Otson up to P9 after having to take the jump back to the pits in the later part of a lap with no real explanation. So, yeah. It is... But let's have a real chat. Let's have some real talk. Real talk, everybody. Ethan Hamlin. He's in the lead. Ethan Hamlin is lapping at a 40.03 last lap. He's close to punching into the 39s. Last lap from Andrew Monroe was a 41.15. Now, there's definitely some traffic management that's happening there, but that is the reason why that gap is already at 4.74 seconds. Like, Ethan Hamlin is just a machine. He is just mining lap times like it's his job. Ryan Buchanan is in front of Tommy Kogan right now. So the tie in GT4 Pro for the last spot on the podium. This is it, folks. Hour and 7 minutes have elapsed. We got less than 53 minutes, and these two are nose to tail going down the back straightaway. I don't think you could frame this. I don't think you could frame this season any better right now. Somebody who's had a struggle at the start of his race, but is finding his way back up through traffic is Alexander Brown. And he is going through roller coaster right now out in front of Jason Otson, trying to gain some spots back after falling down the order. Was towards the front. Was running P3 at restart. Odson's hanging with him, though. He's got 6/10 to the good on Brown as well. There's Gian Cardoso in the background. Oh, we got one of the Porsches off track. I believe that is Newman, John Newman. Hopefully nothing happened. Maybe he's just getting out of the way of the LMP3s. Back to the fight. Tommy Cogan, Brian Duquesne. From the gearbox. Look at how close the AMR is. Getting some grass. The off tracks are big right now. We got a few people that are sitting on some big off track numbers. Not in GT4 though, oddly enough. Brian Duquesne has 2 off tracks. Oh, into roller coaster, man. The AMR in a straight line does seem to be able to catch up to the AMG. But he's just trying to hang on. He's trying to force the battle with Cogan on the straights. So here we go. This straight isn't even as long as the back straight. And Cogan's in the draft. Is he going to be able to make the move? Is he going to be able to make the move? Let's find out. He's lining up. A little bit of a fade. Ethan Hamlet now trying to be ever so conservative because these two are fighting for championship status in GT4s. Tommy lets him go. And he sneaks around the inside on the exit of NASCAR Bend. Mr. Retro Coffin. I know that voice anywhere. How are you doing, sir? Yeah. For what? That might be. Yeah, that's Andrew Monroe. Let me do some work real quick because for whatever reason you're not triggering, and I think I know why. Oh! I just made a mistake. Apologies, folks. Give me a second. I think I know what happens. No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead and do a mic check, sir.
And radio check.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the mullet has arrived.
The mullet is here. Late, but not pregnant. So that's good.
Okay. Yeah, that is good. That is good. How are you doing, Retro? How are you doing, man?
Good, but I'm watching Tommy Keegan Cogan just get through.
Yeah, Cogan gets around Duquesne. So Cogan's had pace relative to Ryan Duquesne. Duquesne kind of holding him back. It's really, I think, down to the straight line speed of the AMR. AMG doesn't seem like it has the same level of pull, but along that back straight, it's just really difficult for Duquesne to stay out in front. And with the LMP3 traffic starting to filter through now, it's kind of catching him out.
Yeah, we'll see because I'm seeing Tanner right here just sneaking up on the AMG.
Yeah, Tanner has been sneaky fast this session. Sneaky fast because coming in, qualifying the car P2 was definitely was not on my bingo card. So Tanner in the M4, putting the M4 where the M4 normally ain't. So it's pretty interesting. Gian Cardoso getting brave filtering through this GT4 traffic.
you just sometimes you just have to send it. If you like hesitate, it just causes a bigger issue.
Yeah. So speaking of Gian Cardoso, let's plug into this because it's Alex Velasco and Gian Cardoso going into Oak Tree right now, and there's Jason Odson on the outside of Tommy Kogan. So all this stuff is interrupting the what is probably the big battle on track right now, which is between Tommy Kogan and Ryan Duquesne, because they are tied for third in GT4 Pro.
See, that AMR is just pulling away on the straight.
Yep. It's a straight line speed. It's slick in a straight line. But the thing that I've noticed about the AMR, and I don't know if this is going to catch.
Big spin up. Oh, there you go. They're off track. Okay, good.
Oh, huh? What?
Oh, there was one of the LMP3s just went off track right there.
I see. Oh, it's Odson. So loses the back end on entry to roller coaster.
Yep. At least they ended up in the grass, so they were out of the way.
Yeah, they were out of the way. Yep. Yeah. But so this battle with Kogan and Duquesne being tied right now, that's a biggie. Christopher Blue. This is big. Christopher Blue finds his way around Anthony Newman. He's going to need a few more spots between him and Anthony Newman if he's got a shot at Anthony Newman. I don't think he does, but the math is not that tight, but it's not impossible. But we'll see. LMP3s are filtering through right now. Velasco and Gian Cardoso as they go into the snake section. And this is getting awkward. And Blue has to take evasive action.
Oh yeah. That's. I mean, that's a smarter choice. There's probably a yield time right there.
Yep. He's probably got to slow down. But either he cleared it quickly and immediately jumps on the bumper of Anthony Newman, or I don't know. Corey Lobner in the background trying to take advantage of this whole kerfluffle. And back to the battle. The tie for GT4 Pro third spot. Ryan Duquesne chasing down Tommy Kogan. Tommy Kogan very slick in a straight line. But again, I was going to talk about this, but I got distracted with the action retro. That AMR is quick in a straight line, but I have seen, especially coming out of left hook, that the rear end of it is slippery. So I'm curious if and Tommy has had his moments this season with running setups that kind of would make me not necessarily white knuckle, but I'd probably break a steering wheel in the palm of my hands.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can see it. You can see it coming down the hill. Like the rear end is just slightly stepping out. It looks like he's slightly drifting as he's coming downhill.
So seeing a lot of rear end rotation out of the AMR, but Ryan's just kind of like taking some very conservative lines and just keeping Tommy in touch.
So I mean, at that point, when you see the car ahead in front of you starting to slide, you just keep the pressure on. Hopefully, they keep burning up their tires. Still got what, 39 minutes left?
Yep.
So you just keep putting on the pressure. Eventually, those tires are not going to have that grip.
Yeah, and it looks like both Tommy and Ryan Duquesne were in the pits for over minute 3, so they're both running on fresher rubber after the pit stop during the competition yellow. So these are the tires they got, I think, till the end of the race. So we're gonna see how that shakes out.
A little bit of dirt action there.
Yep,
a little bit of off-roading.
Yep, off tracks. And Ryan Duquesne's been really clean this session. Only 3 off tracks. Tommy's got 7 to his allocation. But yeah, I think he's keeping it close. And Ryan's actually starting to heap the pressure on.
Yeah, he's just slowly whispering into his ear as they came out of that corner.
I don't think it's going to be sweet nothings. I don't think it's going to be sweet nothings.
You don't think so?
No.
He tells him a dummy right there. Just poke out. Hey, I'm here. I'm here, and you better not slip.
Got an LMP3 in the background. We're going to see how the LMP3 navigates through this battle. Tanner Schiffner just in the background, waiting to see if he can see what's on the menu for leftovers.
Oh yeah, he's just it's a smart move. He just take your picks, and no sense just trying to send it into a corner. Just you have
Yeah.
a big all straight right there.
Corey Lobner starting to harass Christopher Blue. And there's Matt Pyle. Matt Pyle is significantly in front of Sean Sullivan. So Matt Pyle might be.
So I'm gonna give you a question, and I
Yeah.
hope you get the answer right.
Yeah.
Between Corey and Christopher Blue, who do you think I'm rooting for?
Oh, man, that's so tough. See, here, one car is boxy, the other one's round. I think the one has an engine in front, the other one has an engine in the mid.
In the middle.
So I think I'm gonna go with. So I think my choices are the Porsche, or the Porsche. So I think I'm gonna go with the Porsche.
Have you seen Men in Black when he goes like old and busted and then
Yep.
new hotness?
Yep.
That's about where I'm at.
Yep. I hear you. We've got a development here. What happened here?
Oh yeah, I see a car sideways.
Tommy Kogan getting set up for going into Oak Tree. What happens? The back end just swings around, and just like that.
Yep, that's all that pressure, just pushing on those tires.
And that is going to put Ryan Duquesne up into P6 and clear of his GT4 rival. Tanner Schiffner in the background just inheriting a spot as well. And that's how that went down, folks. Vincent LaRue moving back up through the LMP3 field, trying to get clear of Alexander Brown, and has Michael Lively, the newcomer, in his sights. It's actually right on board with an LMP3. Let's listen to that. Let's listen to the fancy lawnmower. So talk me through this section. We're getting set up for Oak Tree. He's going to blast down the back straightaway. What's a car like the LMP3 like when you're going into a roller coaster?
Absolutely horrible. You're sending it on the brake. Like in a battle like this, you're trying to keep the left lane. And if you can sneak it into that first part of that chicane right there, you can sneak away with it because you'll have the advantage on the next corner. But it's tough because the brakes and the car just, if you touch it just too hard, it's just gonna come around. We've seen two or three cars go around in that corner since I've been in here. So
it's the tough one, right? It's the tough one because the thing is I've seen with the GT4s have really had a problem coming out of left hook at the start of the lap, right before they hit the snake section, because we've had two GT4s dart into the tire wall this race. We also did have an LMP3, to be fair, Gabe Chavez at the very start of the race, but I wonder if that's just like cold tires on the LMP3s. They're notorious. But
they're
for the LMP3s, like the latter part of the lap going into roller coaster seems to be the one that has been the problem. So I think the data we've been seeing plays out quite well with what you're describing.
I think it's inherited. It's part of, like, let's just not use big words. It's part of prototypes. Like you make or break your race with your brakes.
I think you got it right. It's inherent. So it's inherent. So it's like it's just part of the platform. It's one of the things about this track and the LMP3s that I thought would be exciting, because the drivers do have to manage the fact that the ride quality around here is not something that the LMP3 is just really gonna it's not gonna be so smooth.
Yeah, it's not conducive. And this track itself it's not great for overtaking. It is lovely to drive, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But in the majority of it, you have two big overtaking spots, and it's that corner right before the downhill and after the main straight. That's really, you're just trying to stay close enough to be able to send it. The rest of it, you're kind of like hanging out, putting the pressure on, keeping it close, but you're not really going to overtake in a lot of these other corners.
Yeah, it's tricky. And here we are at the tire wall that we were talking about before. Logan Branson, Wookie OH on Twitch TV, trying to catch Sean Sullivan right now. So Sean Sullivan currently pretty far behind Corey Lobner. So Corey Lobner going to look to extend on Sean Sullivan if we finish in this order. That's not what Sean wants to see. Ooh, LMP3 on the outside out of nowhere. That was a jump scare.
I'm seeing that Cayman just float around a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I wonder how his tire situation is.
Yeah. Sean was in the pits for 1 minute 44, so he definitely took either a combination of tires or repairs. So it'll be interesting to find out. In LMP3s, we got a real tight battle right now. We got Michael Lively, the newcomer, Alexander Brown, and they're back on the gearbox of Vincent LaRue. LaRue kind of dropping some time relative to Alexander Brown last lap. Not much, though. And Michael Lively hops the curb mid roller coaster, and now they're going down the start-finish straightaway with a draft train getting set up for the horseshoe.
Well, there's a big difference. Not like GT4 cars, they draft really well. Or LMP3s don't really have that.
They don't have the same kind of pull?
No, I don't know if they're just more aerodynamic or what, but the difference in drafting. Oh, here we go. We got to move on the inside.
Oh.
A little door bang.
Door bang. Yep.
He's just going to back out of it real quick.
Yep. And see, the setup there was that Vincent LaRue took an early break getting set up for the second half of NASCAR Bend before left hook, and that caught Alexander Brown out, gave Michael Lively the opportunity on the inside where we saw him touch, but that touch just mucked up the
a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
A lot of traffic right here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Sean
and
Sullivan.
that just allows the overtake. And we have a spin.
Oh, and Lively loses the back end. So easy to do in these LMP3s. Oh, is he going to smoke the... Nope.
I think that was a little shoulder check.
A little check, you think?
Yeah.
I think there was a small touch.
Either that or he just took too much curb.
So there was contact with, I believe, Logan Branson, or it might have been Sean Sullivan. I believe there was some contact there. In fact, let's see how Logan Branson got the pass done, because I think that's going to give us the tail of the tape. Going into Oak Tree now. Just sends it from way downtown. Sean Sullivan.
Traffic.
Yep.
Left that door open.
Yep, and then a little hip check from Brown on Sullivan, and that's how the move gets done. And then it looks like Alex Velasco just reaps the benefits by just sneaking on through.
Looks like there's a little bit of net code contact there. I mean, they would have touched anyway.
Yeah.
But a lot of curb from Michael Lively. A lot of curb.
Yeah. Matt Pyle, someone we haven't really watched a lot in the number 10, doing a really good job, actually, recovering after having a pretty lackluster start. But now back up 4 spots from P8 to P4, and he's got Christopher Blue in his sights. Corey Lobner in the background. The pace relative to both of them, Matt Pyle's got pace in hand, 3/10 on Lobner and 7/10 on Blue. So, yeah, advantage Pyle right now.
You are Mr. Data. Actually, let me pop open some race laps in here so I can keep track of this thing a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if the live timing link still works. Find out. Or is it timing? I think it's timing. Yeah, there it is. If you want to click on that, that might pull up the live timing view from SDK.
Seeing Pyle putting a lot of pressure here on Blue.
Piling on the pressure, no pun intended.
Yeah,
pun
there
intended.
you go.
Pun very much intended.
Oh yeah.
Like if you give me an opening, if gap then car. If set up then pun.
That's
how.
Pretty
it
sure.
works.
I'm pretty sure Abraham Lincoln said that.
Yep.
If gap then car.
Yep.
Oh, and you see the McLaren just went wide there real quick and allows the crew to catch up even more. Pyle putting that pressure on.
Yeah, so Newman right now, Anthony Newman right now, sitting on top of AM. Christopher Blue right there with him, but I think from the points total perspective, I don't think Blue can really do anything to upset it unless Anthony Newman just effectively crashes out of this race. Scott Fleming, we haven't talked about him. He's checked out. He's 8 seconds up the road. He's in another state already. Pyle is just really just.
Well, he's nipping at it.
Yeah. Oh, a little maybe a touch, a little bump.
Little. Hey, let's get going. Let's get out of this corner.
Allow me to escort you through this corner. This is some good stuff, man. Some good stuff.
It's a good fight. Good fight. So you got him here. He's not close enough. You just want to set up to get really tight on him, and then you'll have that other straight to draft, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's just getting real close up to him.
Let's get the onboard of this. This looks like this is getting really spicy. So coming out of hog pen now.
Oh, those LMP3s just opened up that gap.
Man, it's just when they come when they appear out of the periphery, it's like oh man, such a jump scare.
And then they take away. Oh, there's some door banging going on. Oh, and he just sneaks on through.
Just sneaks on through. Wow, what? Talk about preparation meeting opportunity for Matt Pyle.
It's a don't mind me. You guys just keep fighting.
Yeah.
I'll just sneak on right through.
In a you do you moment, Matt Pyle sneaks up into second place, takes 2 in the same corner. Corey Lobner sneaks through. He's up into third. Anthony Newman and Christopher Blue duking it out. And Blue was the
who's the aggressor there?
He lost out. So he's got some cars between him and Newman now.
I do wonder. Oh, Newman's just going everywhere a little bit.
Is Newman off?
I wonder if his steering wheel's okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he is. It's a wild ride. So
Looks like he's. Yeah.
So he gets back on it. Let's see how he handles Oak Tree real quick before we cut back to the live feed. Looks like he gets it back together.
Yeah, his steering wheel is straight. So it's not a steering problem.
Yeah. Weird. So Christopher Blue does make out with some points buffer to Anthony Newman, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I just don't think he's got enough mathematically to make it happen. Ethan Hamlet and Andrew Monroe in the pits for the last time. Let's switch back to the live feed and take a peek. Bunch of LMP3s coming in now. Vincent LaRue inherits the lead of this race.
There he goes.
So I have a question now.
Okay.
So he pitted on lap 28, Vincent did. He is now 15 seconds ahead of Ethan Hamlet. I mean, pitting on lap 28, there is no shot. No shot that he's going to make it to the end of the race. He's going to have to stop again.
You know what? Sometimes you just have to lead a lap.
Yes.
Lead a lap on the race, and that's...
Yeah.
You know, what's it? Stingray Robb led a lap of the Indy 500 this year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And it
was there.
It was great.
Yeah.
The grandstands are going wild.
Can we talk for a moment about this? Tommy Kogan leapfrogging Ryan Buchanan in the pits. Tommy Kogan coming in with the calculus, 29.717 seconds on the jacks, and a 54.12 for the full pit lane travel time, 56.8 for Ryan Buchanan. So Ryan Buchanan just dropping time over 2 seconds to Tommy Kogan. And just like that, Tommy Kogan is back in it to try and claim third place. And Ryan Buchanan is now on the backfield.
Now, my question is, we already saw those tires sliding a little bit earlier. and we already know that he went sideways, so those tires got cooked a little bit. Does he have enough grip to hold on to this?
It's going
Because
to be tough.
Buchanan is point seven behind,
Mhm.
and we've seen that Mercedes just overall have really good balance.
Yep.
Just seems to react. It seems a lot lighter than it actually is. It's like seeing a tank handle like a Miata, which is
Yep.
weird.
Yep.
That gap's already come down to 0.4.
Yeah. So, uh, up in LMP3s, so LaRue is going to rejoin in third. He's ahead of Alexander Brown. He is, it looks like 15 seconds back from Monroe. Monroe's about 13 seconds back from Ethan Hamlin. Ethan Hamlin looks like he's just going to check himself out
Yeah.
to a clean sweep of the season.
Oh, I am very excited for the future with Ethan Hamlet.
Yep.
As soon as that man, that I mean, you call him a man, a child, a teenager. It's
He
he's
is,
got pace.
he is the
He's got
prototype.
he's
He is
he's
the
got all the
prototype,
pace.
right? Like Ethan Hamlin is the prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just wild. He's got so much pace. So Ryan Buchanan, man, he's right there. And look who's right behind him. Corey Lobner.
Oh, this
Corey
is great.
Lobner. Here, we have not done an onboard with the Porsche this whole race, so let's get some
Cayman vibes.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah,
go.
let's do this. I mean, good race from Corey Lobner too, man. He's up. What is that? It looks like he's actually even for the race at sixth. 2 on the overall. We've had a couple of retirements. Man, just slamming into the curves. Getting set up for the entry into Oak Tree. Ryan Buchanan's right there. He's just right there waiting to see if Tommy's going to make another mistake.
All it takes is that one fight into T1.
Yeah. Anthony Newman, Christopher Blue are duking it out. So let's jump on over and take a peek at that. Anthony Newman did find his way around Christopher Blue. And Christopher Blue, is it just me or is he moving very slow? Or it might just be the camera angle, but he looks like he is moving super slow. In fact, we do have the crash footage. Let's go back and take a peek at what happened. So getting set up for Oak Tree. LMP3's in the background. And he just overcooks it. He does the exact same thing. There might have been a touch with Anthony Newman, but Anthony Newman being evasive.
Yeah, that's just accidental. He's just trying to get out of the way.
Yeah. But yeah. Fast hands from Anthony Newman, keeping his race.
Hey, Christopher Blue's diving into the pits.
Yeah, Christopher Blue is diving into the pits. This will be pit number 3 for him, I think, for the day. So, wonder if there might be a little bit of an undercut. They are at 50% fuel capacity on the GT4s, so I'm kind of curious now. Tune back in with Tommy Kogan, who has now lost a position to Ryan Buchanan. We got to figure out what happened here. We got to figure out what happened here. Okay, we got Tommy Kogan. We got Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson just goes off track. Tommy Kogan. Wonder if there was some contact there. Let's watch it from Sam Wilson's perspective. So he's on the inside, and then
I see what happened there.
Was it a drift out or a turn in? I can't tell.
It looks like somebody was over enthusiastic on their brakes and dove a little bit harder than their car could handle. I don't think there's much that
Tommy could have
done there. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for him because that puts Ryan Buchanan now 6/10 to the good in this battle for GT4 Pro third spot.
All it takes is just one time into T1. There are one thing that I do like about this racetrack is there are several lines around turn 1.
Yeah. And he's just losing ground to this traffic. Tommy Kogan is just losing ground. This is not what he wants. Now that gap has grown to 2.1. Oh, and he's off.
It is, and he's got Corey right behind him, gaining.
Yeah.
The little Cayman that could be. Let's go.
And there's Ethan Hamlet now taking an evasive move on the inside as he's getting set up for the inside of Horseshoe.
Breaking battle.
Tommy is not going to just hand it over.
He's got the inside. That was bought and sold going into the breaking point.
Yeah. So with an hour and 37 minutes elapsed in this race, and we are in the final stages here. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Kogan losing ground to Ryan Buchanan. He's got Corey Lobner now in his rear view, something he doesn't need right now to focus on. Yeah, this is tough. This is the closest thing going on, with the exception of, and we'll go check in with them real quick because we haven't seen the track limits duo that much. We've got Jaden Ledbetter chasing down Gian Cardoso and Michael Lively in the background. That's the track limits crew. Back to this battle with Hogan and Lobner.
One thing that I did notice is Corey is bouncing the car off the rev limiter on the low gears. It's quite interesting. Cayman does have very short first and second. First is just, there he goes into dirt.
Oh, and Tommy's losing the car.
Yeah,
losing the car. I kind of want to take a look at that. I want to see that corner approach to see kind of what happened here. Yep, just downhill braking, coming in too fast. It's a deceptive right-hander. It is so you think you can carry so much more speed into it than you actually can. I mean, it's still a medium. I'd call it a medium speed corner, but it's a medium to low speed. But it's just so deceptive.
It's because when you go left, the left-hander, it's a lot higher speed, and then it tightens immediately.
Did you see that? He took the pits. That's so funny. Gian Cardoso takes the second pit stall on the back straight in the battle with Jaden Ledbetter.
We have another swap.
What's that? Who's that?
Corey and Tommy swap positions again. Corey was guilty of the off-roading incident again.
Oh, yeah. Right, and right before, or right on the exit of Left Hook. So kind of...
I heard so much.
Kind of where we've been seeing it with the GT4s this whole race. Just get the left side tires in the dirt on the exit of Left Hook, and just he's lucky he didn't end up in the tire wall. So unfortunately for the folks at home, in terms of an exciting finish right here, we might be in for a very kind of like textbook 1 hour stint. The field stretches out a bit kind of finish. Closest fight on track right now is Jaden Ledbetter, who's nipping at the heels of Gian Cardoso as they go through the snake section. We've got a drag race. Oh, and they are arriving on the scene with a slower LMP3 in front, and they are trying to find their way around. Jaden's going to have to wait patiently. Although Gian,
there he goes.
Gian has a moment.
A little bit of off-roading.
Yep, a little bit of off-road.
A little tap.
Touches all around.
Oh,
that's so unfortunate.
That is a heart-and-mouth moment. You touch dirt and then come back, take a breath, and then immediately get a little tap.
So let's check in with Michael Lively, because that front left might be a little broken. His steering looks good, so he might be okay, but he might have some front aero damage. And we got an LMP3 off.
There he goes off.
Yep, he goes off as well. Keep it together, and he's back on track. Very unfortunate. Kind of just showed up when the contact started happening, unfortunately. Jaden Ledbetter's in the pits. I think Jaden might have some damage. 2 fast repairs on offer. I'm pretty sure a huge chunk of the field have leveraged that feature. this race.
It is nice and convenient to have one. You still lose time on the pit entry, pit exit.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's unfortunate. I hope that it wasn't that last incident. We saw him getting tapped.
Yeah.
I was about to say he's channeling his inner Kevin Estre, but just immediately got tapped. And I wonder if that did break his suspension.
He's back out on track. 24. Pit lane travel time was 23.7 seconds, so definitely fast repair being used there. Ethan Hamlet. What else can you say, man? He's 27 seconds ahead.
He sucks, and he should be 30 seconds ahead. Like I am disappointed at this moment.
Now, here's the thing. Like, Andrew Monroe has probably presented the closest thing we've seen to a pace that can kind of like hang with Ethan. I mean, Vincent's had some moments. Vincent's actually had some really good races against Ethan. But Andrew Monroe, still only 27 and 3/10 back. I mean, it's wild. Absolutely wild stuff.
He's just booking it. Like I've seen him drop lap times just on his own, just a random day. Just start working on his lap times, and the kid's quick. There's just how. I just look at it and I'm just like, how? How does he do that?
Yeah.
He's just quick, and he's consistent about it too.
Yep.
Some people, you just nail a lap and you're all of a sudden everything clicks, and then good luck recreating that lap, and he just does it over and over again.
Yeah. So we're inside of 16 minutes to the end of this race. Gian Cardoso and Sam Wilson, the closest battle on track right now. 4 hundredths of a second between them as they get ready to go into Horseshoe.
And that pass done, very, very nice. Very nice pass.
Gian Cardoso, our AM champion on math.
Your math or somebody else's?
I mean, somebody else's math. You don't trust my math.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't trust my math.
That's why I had that question.
Yeah, I got a degree in computer science. I still can't math. It's fine. Because you know what that degree in computer science taught me? How to use a calculator. So,
I thought you were gonna say turning off and on again.
yeah. Well, I mean, I know how to do that. I mean, most people figure that one out on their own.
Well, sometimes you have to ask, is it plugged in?
Yeah. Yep. LMP3 in the background, Christopher Blue as they're going into roller coaster. This is another close battle between him and Logan Branson. Did you see the M2 start to lift off the curb?
Well, I mean, they have the aerodynamic efficiency of a brick.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. He did have only 2 wheels on the ground for a very, very short amount of time.
What we got here? So the closest battle, yeah, looks like 1.3.
I mean, outside of Blue and Branson, next closest battle was G and Jaden. Now that's opened back up.
Yeah, I think we got a flurry of overtakes and fights and stuff, and so things are settling down a little bit. And then we'll see who pushes hard to the finish.
Yeah. So that is Jaden on the inside of these two as he is trying to make his way through the snake section and up towards Oak Tree. Closing stages of this race, and the field is spread out. So now it's about, for the most part, it's about survival. And for these two, it's about bragging rights because Christopher Blue really wants to clear Logan Branson. Ethan Hamlet touching some grass.
A little bit of a Estre moment.
Yep.
Estre has the Nürburgring overtaking on the dirt. And he's lifting. Yeah, he's lifting and picking his lines. That's one thing. You come down this back straight and you're all focused, all looking at the car ahead, and it's very, very easy to lose track of your braking point.
Indeed. Indeed. Getting the gearbox moment as Gabe goes around the outside. And Christopher Blue. M2 going to give him the wide
Creeping
sniffer.
slowly. Folks on the inside.
Ooh, inside.
A little bit of the brakes.
Space.
Riding that curb.
So much of...
And a little wiggle from Mercedes is going to do it.
Yep. And Christopher Blue's going to clear Logan Branson and move up into 9th. Logan, though, not letting him go. Not just yet, although that touching the grass is probably going to give him some more breathing room.
Have you seen the new debris generating engine they're implementing into iRacing?
I have not. I saw the Twitter post, but I have not actually looked at it yet.
It looks like it's going to be a nightmare. I mean, realistic for sure. But there is scattered pebbles and dirt everywhere.
Oh man,
it's gonna be interesting.
It is gonna be interesting. It is gonna be interesting. People are gonna definitely be fighting for grip. Racing line might not be as dependable in certain circumstances, depending on how much chaos happens in front of you. Christopher Blue's gonna pull away a little bit. And now we're just going to switch over to most exciting because the field has finally stretched out. The closest thing we have going on is 1.13 between Logan Branson and Christopher Blue and 1.36 between 3026 between Alexander Brown and Vincent LaRue.
And they were pretty evenly matched on pace last lap. So they both ran 41.7s. So push towards the finish. I mean, that's a podium fight. That's a fight for P3. I wonder.
Agreed.
I wonder if LaRue's just going to be able to get up there and get that overtake done.
It's going to be a good question. It's going to be a good question.
How much tires and brakes do you have? Let's go. Just send it. Just go.
Yep, that might be what it comes down to. How much tires and brakes you got.
Theoretically, I mean, if you straight line the snake, can you get away with it? Is the penalty too harsh?
That's a good question. Not sure. Not sure. In the LMP3s, oh, Jaden's in front of Ethan, but I think he's gonna get the outside line, or he's just gonna stay put and let Ethan pick his line, I think.
A little bit of drafting going on.
Yeah.
Just sneaking up. Peeks out. Tucks back in. Slightly wider line that Ledbetter there.
Yeah.
Lots of curb, and then he's just back on it. Nice and tight. Oh, Jaden just gets some dirt. Some off-road moment right there.
Yeah. This fight has started to heat up. Vincent LaRue has just been carving time.
He's pushing.
Out of Alexander Brown.
Isn't that in a race, the difference between P4 and P3 is a trophy.
Yep.
So how much does he want it? Redlining that LMP3 as they come to the breaking point.
Yeah. So that is the closest fight we've got. We've got less than 9 minutes. 2-hour series finale, Track Limits Racing, the sports car series at Virginia International Raceway. In the booth with me is the legend himself, Retro Coffin. Retro, thank you for being a part of the show.
I missed you.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I missed you too. This has been a pretty good race.
I'll tell you what. It's a 2-hour race,
Mhm.
multi-class, and I mean we're within 10 minutes of the finish, and we have had a lot of fights. And right now, it looks like LaRue is just pushing. That gap is now 0.3 seconds.
Yeah, and that's the
So he's
thing.
getting.
I think the folks at home definitely got their money's worth out of this race because the field has started to spread out a little bit, but we have had fights pretty consistent for 2 hours. It has been relentless. And for a track like VIR to be that way, makes some pretty exciting racing.
That's a great exit from LaRue there. He is tucked in. Oh, looks like there was maybe some off-track penalties to be served.
Maybe. All I know is that snap over and LaRue is cut loose and he's gone.
He is gone.
Yeah, he's gone. And just like that, the closest battle we had on track is over.
Done and dusted. I'm looking back to see if there was any reason for him to just pull over and tap on the brakes like that. I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, but look at this. It's on the outside of. Oh, are they side by side?
No. Brown is ahead.
Brown is now ahead as they get ready to go into horseshoe, but LaRue will have the inside line. Are they going to touch?
Little tap.
Little tap, but
Nudge.
Little nudge, and now LaRue's going to skate on past.
In this one series that I watch, they go left a lot. That is called a bump and run. They go right sometimes, but majority of the time they go right. They go left.
Normally, if they go right, there's a problem, right?
Well, I mean, they do stuff like Watkins Glen and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in the oval races, if they go right, that's a problem. Like,
there's the legendary man himself said, sometimes to turn left, you have to turn right.
Very wise indeed.
Definitely not an animated Pixar movie.
It's hilarious. So yeah, closing stages of this race. We're on board with the closest race we've got. The second closest race we've got is Logan Branson and Christopher Blue. These pairings have kind of kept it going for this last stage so that people can have some entertainment as this race closes out. 2 hours at VIR.
Listen, if 2 hours in, you have two fights that are within 0.5 seconds, that's a good race.
Yeah, I think so too.
I wonder if Brown just wanted to have LaRue in front of him so that he could watch him.
I'm sorry, what did Christopher Blue just do? He's just like, you know what, roller coaster?
No, skip.
It's like
skip.
I'm more for the water rides. He goes rear end into the tire barrier. Probably got a little smushed rear end, but he's gonna keep going, and Logan Branson's just gonna go do his thing now. In the meantime, this is still going.
Yeah, back into that fight.
It's still going.
Yeah, he may not have wanted that pressure on him. Maybe he wanted to be the hunter and not the hunted.
Yeah. Alexander Brown's like, oh, you wanna take a shot at it? Okay. There you go. Have P3. Can you hang on to it?
A very, very narrow line from Alexander Brown. But he exits just perfectly fine. Battle for P3 right here.
Yep, it's on. Speaking of battles for P3, in P3 of GT4 right now is Brian Duquesne, and he is ahead of Tommy Koken to the tune of 2.8 seconds, and that is going to probably seal the deal in GT4 Pro in the podium spot. So one thing I got to say to those two is hats off for keeping it that exciting pretty much all season. So that was to have it come down to less than 3 seconds for the season is pretty good stuff. And LaRue has
Brown's. Yeah, you see Brown sniffing on the outside, trying to carry that speed, pinching.
Oh, pinching him. Yep. They get lined up for
And
left
he's
hook.
ahead, and too
Oh
much.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. Left hook. Left hook will get you.
Overestimating those brakes. I'm telling you, these cars braking, if you're comfortable, confident, and capable in your brakes, you will make money.
Yeah.
Every time you have a fight, you might not be the best cornering, you might not be the best carrying speed, but if you have your brakes set,
Yeah.
that'll win you every side by side you can find. You can see him. He just had a moment. He just went wide. LaRue went wide around that whole complex.
Yeah.
So 1.7. That's a bit much. You got maybe 2 laps left.
Yeah. If that.
A little bit too far. Ethan is fixing to take on the snake right now. I'd say this +1.
Yeah. Alexander Brown is trying to catch back up to Vincent LaRue.
Desperately so. He took a lot of curb there.
So you ready for this statistic?
Send it.
How mind-blowing is this? Fastest lap of the race. A 39.99 from Ethan Hamlin.
I am not surprised.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, Tommy Kogan gets collected. Unfortunate. That is super unfortunate.
Then you have a off track right there.
That is not what he would want at all. What happened here? Let's see if we can zoom back and see what happened. So into NASCAR Bend. I don't understand what happened.
I think there it looked a little bit like netcode. They were awfully tight.
Yeah, they were awfully tight, but the way that Tommy spun, is it just him losing the rear?
I'm taking a peek at it right now. Very, very slow motion detailed stuff.
Very sophisticated trackside analysis from the mullet.
It looks like maybe the initial hit is netcode, and then that just locked them together. There is definitely a gap before the cars
start spinning.
Yeah, the way that Tommy spun, it was as if he was hit from the inside. That is some weird car behavior right there.
Yeah, unlucky. Unlucky for Tommy. Very unlucky. Alex Velasco, Jaden Ledbetter duking it out. Ethan Hamlet going into roller coaster.
Went down the hill.
For the last time this season, this year, this guy has swept the Sports Car Series Season 2. Ethan Hamlet, your LMP3 Pro champ, comes across the line.
That kid is fast.
He's fast. He's fast. Andrew Monroe, the one that everybody was thinking finally going to take the fight to Ethan. 47 seconds away. But he's going to come across the line in second place. Good showing from Andrew. I think that's his second race with us. So still, good showing from him. Scott Fleming's going into roller coaster. And this guy has been at every race, doing his thing. Kind of like, for the most part, no drama llama. And coming down the start-finish straight away and going to take that GT4 Pro championship, Mr. Scott Fleming from Canada in the 37. He gave Steven Wilson absolutely just looming in the background every race. And with Steven Wilson having to miss some races and having some really bad luck and some bad moments, like Scott Fleming Mr. Consistency just pulling out. Matt Pyle coming across the line with a second place finish. That's ridiculous for Matt Pyle. Very good points conversion for him. Ryan Duquesne is going to take
P3.
He's going to take P3. And now all this stuff, folks, is up for like reviews and all that stuff. But all for the books on this race, that's a third place finish for Duquesne.
You are gonna get some of these guys in here, see what they're thinking, what they thought about the whole season and race.
For interviews, I would love to, except I'm about to fall asleep, so I'm gonna not sound like a blithering idiot while I'm trying to talk to people.
That's fair.
And we're gonna call it, but before we do that, like, we just got to talk about these results. Let's get that race result for LMP3 set up and go take a peek and close this season out strong. Because you want to talk about closing out a season strong, Ethan Hamlet, 48 seconds ahead, just dunking on the LMP3 category. The kid, like I said, the kid is the prototype.
Yeah. We have to introduce the Ethan ballast.
Yeah, or just put him in a different category altogether.
I like it.
Like just everybody. So the multi-class next season, folks. I hope you can join in. We can see if Ethan Hamlet dunks on the field. We're gonna do LMP3's GT4 and Ethan Hamlet in a Miata. It's gonna be good. You should really check it out. Yeah, Andrew Monroe, really good showing. Vincent LaRue with a third place finish. Good result from him. Yeah, that's your LMP3 field. The championship LMP3s, both Pro and AM, for LMP3, pretty much on lock. Ethan Hamlet's going to take it. Gian Cardoso is going to take that AM championship. We're going to take a look and see the closer fights in AM, see if anything works out there. I don't think so, because I think everybody that was kind of like close didn't show. But let's kick it over now to the big news, and that's going to be your GT4 results. Ryan Duquesne finishing third, and Tommy Kogan getting some really rough luck and finishing in seventh. That's going to cost him that third spot, most likely. That's huge. Taking a look at the championship in Pro for P6, I do think, actually, P6, yeah. I think Tanner Schiffner did end up finishing the race out, and if he did, he will retain P5. Matt Pyle is going to leapfrog Jared Jones, who was in early retirement, unfortunately. That is a bummer. And but Matt Pyle with a second place finish in GT4 overall, really good points haul for him, making a difference. Corey Lobner, fourth place finish. He's going to be 2 spots ahead of Sean Sullivan, so going to cement himself in that third spot for GT4 AM. Actually, finishing high enough ahead of Christopher Blue. Might need to see how the points shake out with that worst drop round, seeing if this race might be the worst drop round for either one of them. Who knows? Maybe Corey Lobner is going to take a shot at P2. Don't know. And then let's take a peek. Any other close ones? Not really. That's basically it. Although Logan Branson, so let's see here. He didn't finish. He did finish. He did extend on John Newman. So Logan Branson going to be firmly in P5, it looks like. But yeah, that's the season. That is the show, folks. This was awesome. And again, I want to thank Retro Coffin for showing up at that for the last half of this race. It was really awesome to have you back in the booth, man. Thanks for being here, dude. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for broadcasting all of this.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. And if you folks at home want to participate in this show, you want to be a part of the action on track, or you just want to hang out with the guys in Discord, be sure and check out our Discord link. Retro for 2025 Season 1. Jaden, you're going to have to work with his agent. I think there's going to be some strong negotiations, but if you can really make it worth his while, who knows? Might see a Porca specialist out there.
He's gonna have to talk to the mullets agent. Because I can make it, but it's the mullet. The mullet's booked out pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But Giancarlo, so glad I had no incidents this race. I just want to say, Gian, the last challenge, it didn't work out. I was pulling for you, but the last just didn't pan out. Maybe next year. Anyway, so, but yeah, if you want to be part of the action at home, be sure and check us out on Discord, ! Discord and chat. Pay attention. The announcements for 2025 season 1 will start showing up here soon. And then we'll get the signups and stuff set up for that. But yeah, that's wrap. Season 2. It was a banger. I think the track list for next season is going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, I hope everybody will be there with us when we get kicked off in 2025. It's going to be exciting. But for the Track Limits family, this is the Sports Car Series. Season 2 is in the books. I'm Whelpcakes, Retro Coffin joining me in the booth. This was a blast, as always. Thank you guys for being a part of the action. We're going to roll the credits and see you next time. Take it easy.